operational jobs are actually being taken away by bots and automation kind of a thing. So I always believe that you have to have a strategic element to your work, or else you can be replaced by a bot. My name is Vishwanath. So thanks for having me here. As you all know my background, I think, but let me give you some context of my background. Close to 17 years of experience in talent acquisition, engineer by choice, and human resources talent acquisition by chance. But I think I made a good mark in that, and I'm pretty comfortable about what I'm doing today. When it comes to the industry, I've seen the way industry has changed. I think we are no more having any roles which are very, very, what is it called, thought process oriented, where I've seen a lot of roles transform from a typical mundane job to a lot more strategic in nature. Operational jobs are actually being taken away by bots and automation kind of a thing. So I always believe that you have to have a strategic element to your work, or else you can be replaced by a bot. So that's my view about the industry. You have to have a resume which is a standard format resume which talks about your skills, your knowledge, and your academic qualifications, your internship kind of a thing. Now, a moment when you're applying for a company like Amazon, right? And they're looking at specific part of your resume. Now, companies like all of us will not have any choice but to kind of incubate the gig economy. The reason being, most of the work is happening from home, right? And now people are available to work from home at the cost which is lesser than what the cost that you should be offering to, and they're also flexible, right? So there is no choice but for the companies like us to kind of look at that gig economy, right? Now the only challenge that I face, or I always see, is that how do we ensure that if I hire you as a 8 hours kind of a thing, how do I ensure that you don't work for some other company at the same time? How do I ensure my data is protected? So if I have solution for these two problems, or maybe one or two more additionally, then I think gig economy is just that, it has to happen, right? Now, earlier there was a lot of population. Now with work from home kind of situation, a lot of population is added into gig economy, right? So this is here to stay. Corporations have to understand how to enable this and make it happen. In addition to that, if you can bring in a fresh perspective for the domain that you are in and try to solve a problem in that particular domain, that will be a crazy stuff. So you are talking about functional skills, technical skills, and behavioral skills, right? This is what is important. Over and above this, I think you need to always be a research-oriented person, know what is happening in that industry, because people like us, when we hear that, okay, you have any questions to us, we feel very happy when somebody asks, okay, I've read this article that you guys are getting into some kind of a new AI kind of system. Can you explain me more about it, right? So you have to have a thorough understanding of what we as a company are doing and what are our future plans, and use this opportunity to ask those good questions so that it will make us to feel that, okay, this person is interested in my brand. Gone out those days where companies used to come 100, 150 people, they used to create a test kind of thing, because it is not sustainable over a period of time. Now, what is also happening is, as a student, you might be very comfortable in doing a face-to-face interview. You have to get used to, because I don't want to lose an opportunity just because you're not comfortable with these platforms. You might have been very good in writing a code on a piece of paper. If you cannot translate that on a computer, then you will lose out on that. If you are extremely good in talking to people face to face, but not on a video like this, I think you will be losing. So you have to incubate. This is the channel. This is the way to life, right? So life will be like this for some time, or maybe for long, right? So you have to get used to it. So my suggestion to students is, get used to these platforms, understand how assessments are happening, understand how to crack that assessment, what it takes to crack the assessments, what it takes to complete a good interview process, and then learn that pattern and then start making it happen. I would always, say, never ever ask, a company that I have not read the JD, okay, and can you explain me the JD again, okay? Can you tell me about your company? Okay. And I know about your company, but I don't know what you guys do. So see, these are all questions which people ask. They don't know. They don't know that they should not be asking, right? So the reason why I'm saying that is they should actually do good reading before that. These are don'ts, not do's. Let's come to do's, right? So my question always is, what do you think? What do you know about this role, right? So then the moment when I see that the person has not read about it or not read about my company, I would always think that okay, this person is not something that he's looking at me as a brand, right? Then second is okay. Then in the assessment process, if somebody is fumbling, and I would want to ask or help them, how soon they are able to adapt to the situation, and then they are able to crack that is what is required, right? While the same kind of hope is given to everyone, but how soon you are coming out of it is what is important, right? And I would always ask, okay, we are a well-known established brand, but tell us something that we don't know about our company, right? So it's not about to reject somebody, but it's about what kind of reading that they have done, right? Most likely they will come up with something which we know about it, but it will be interesting. But sometimes we come across something that we don't even know, right? And last but not the least is we always want the people, when we ask them, okay, do you have any questions, use that opportunity to ask the right question. You can ask about, okay, can you tell me about the role little better, or can you tell me about how your company is actually doing and all that stuff. Use this opportunity to also thank, because I have not seen of late people thanking for the opportunity given, right? So it's a good gesture. So you should, whether you get a job or not, you should always thank for that person, for the company to give that opportunity, right? So I think you should thank that, or maybe say that, send an email to them that thanking about opportunities, right? These are good things that you should be doing. This is a time when you have to pick up mentorship sessions. What I mean to do that is, you will have a lot of people. For example, when I was 10 years older than this, I had an idol in front of me, and I would want to become like that person. So you need to pick up who are those people whom you want to become like after 10 years, 15 years. Start networking with them and start getting mentorship through them. And the moment when they see a value in your profile and the kind of work that you're doing, they themselves will be your ambassadors. And the best part is, I may not have a requirement in my company, but I'm mentoring Poonam and Ronit. I can actually propose your candidature to some other company which is looking at your proposal.